Okay, group. Um, every time I say, please participate, viewers, and this time I'm going to say it too because I really am curious what everybody thinks. I actually see I have a couple new subscribers. I'm pretty excited that people, it's not a lot, but I would like this stuff is really important to me, and I would really like to hear what, other members of humanity think. I feel like the concept that is actually the most interesting to me right now and has been for a few years is the concept of humility. I feel like sometimes I come off as hard on Christianity, and the actual Christianity, like, I think is very beautiful. Like, I really aspire, like, what I think Christianity is, I think it's a social religion that demands that people with money and power give it up and give it to the marginalized people without power. Like I've said before, the most beautiful scene I've ever read in literature is when the bishop in Les Miserables gives Jean Valjean the candlesticks. Like he lies to the police and he says, I gave him that silver. And then he says, and you, like, it makes me cry, and you forgot this. And he gives him more. Like, to me, that's Christianity, when people willingly submit and give, really all they have. Like, that's what's demanded to people who have nothing, like, criminals or groups that have been given nothing. So of course I love that. Like, I'm not against that at all. Like, I aspire to that, but I right now I'm going through so much myself with my own journey of, like, becoming a woman, that I'm not ready. I'm not ready for that. Like, I was just telling a friend of mine that I remind myself that the bishop in that story is an old man, and he's like spent his life studying Christianity and trying to live it. And then at the end, and near the end of his life, he does this beautiful thing. And I am not there yet, but, like, I'm thinking of humility because I feel like, the Christian tradition, which I see as a different thing, tries to teach, I hate to say this dark view, but it's really trying to teach women to, like, humble themselves and not go after really anything. Again, I hate to even be like that, but I read the Book of Common Prayer fairly religiously, and I just sometimes get tired of it. Like, I read just, every morning, the order of the prayer, and this, was what people I come from a background of Anglo-Saxon culture. Like, this is what people were taught. I mean, Almighty and most merciful Father, we have erred and strayed from thy ways like lost sheep. We have followed too much the devices and desires of our own hearts. I'm just like, just don't like that idea, obviously, of like some, Father in the sky that you're supposed to do what he wants. And when I've been writing in my prayer journal for several years, and the more I write, the more like I become a feminist. Like, I don't feel like I need to double check with some man in the sky to see if I'm doing it right. And if I'm not, like, correct my ways to those ways. Like, it's through that prayer journal that's like the center of my like sexual discovery. Again, I don't know as much as I wish I did about, any theology, but like Jewish theology seems to me is about the relationship. And I understand that. And I don't want to, like, say, I'm as good as God. Like, no. But I feel like God is not like punishing me or like vengeful. I feel like God is helping me to create and be full. And that's the opposite of like the Christian submissive tradition. Like, I feel that I always check with my prayer journal about my sexual expression and exploration. And I feel like, God, whoever is with me on this journey, is encouraging me to, like, explore my sexuality, which, again, the Book of Common Prayer literally every day is telling you to avoid the temptations of the flesh. And I'm just like, enough of all that. Like, why did we let those rules rule everything for hundreds, if not thousands of years. And I think that that's why many people are actually quite scared right now, because it seems to me that there's starting to be a movement that it's many more people have power. And I think that's obviously good and, dare I say, Christian. Like, if we're going to give, different marginalized groups, anyone who's historically been oppressed, if they're going to get a slice of the pie, that's all the better. Like, that's, again, I'm no expert, but I think that's what Jesus would have, I know that's what Jesus would have wanted. So, I don't know, humility, I looked it up, it means low. It's related to the word hummus, I think, or humus, I don't know. But anyway, it's like down by the earth. And, this is just me spitballing. But I'm on my period right now. And I was wearing a big overnight cloth pad. And earlier this morning, there was like blood all over. And I'm just like, oh, I have to deal with this. But I think, as a woman, we're like connected to the earth that way, right? Bleeding with the cycles of the moon and all that. And I think the earth is telling us to be strong. Like, if you're humble down by the earth, you're gathering strength. Like, I don't know. I feel like out in nature, and I don't speak bumblebee or whatever, but I don't think there's like a system of oppressing the females in nature, right? Like, if you're a girl rabbit, you're as good as a boy rabbit. I don't know. Obviously, again, I can get into the whole grad school thing of social construction. But I really try to search for truth in my prayers. And I think humility doesn't mean submissiveness. I think it means and the word power is so tricky too, because Christianity is obviously against power. Like, I just read the Hunchback of Notre Dame. I was like, how did Victor Hugo develop to become the guy who could write this beautiful scene about the bishop? And in Hunchback of Notre Dame, it's called Notre Dame de Paris. It's actually about the cathedral, the actual book. But in that, you can tell this guy, he hates kings, he hates the established church, he hates power. And I understand, like, Christianity is obviously very anti-power. Like, again, don't really want to get into it right now, but I feel like, how can conservative Christianity even be a thing? Because Christianity is so radical. I just love that. But anyway, I'm not too involved in that right now, because I'm still trying to, become, less, like, I guess I kind of, was surrounded by the system of, like, humility as, like, the default. Like, don't really think that you have too much power. I don't know. I don't feel like it was negative. It was just more like neutral. Like, I wasn't aware of all I could do. Honestly, part of it was when I started praying. I felt a lot, like, seriously, I got a lot of strength from that. So anyway, I knew this was going to be long. So if you're still with me, group, humility is so interesting to me. And I think I define it as working with God. I think we need the strength of that relationship to rise and to create and be full and live. That's the thing. I feel like for a long time I didn't know how to live. And now I feel like humility helps me live like who I really am, which is actually way stronger and bolder and hotter than I ever thought. So please, group, let me know what you think about humility. Bye.